All right, I think we are live, it looks like. Finally. So, yeah, Peter, go ahead and delete that because people aren't going to actually
Just hang on.
be waiting on
That might
that.
actually be the one that is showing up
I
here.
have no idea what happened, guys. So, we're on my phone now. We were trying this new software, and it was supposed to be able to stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, which sounds super awesome. But I guess our upload speed just is not fast enough. So, we're doing handheld. So, hope people hop on. It looks like so. Go ahead and delete.
Right. Yeah. Hang on. I'm doing it. Hang
Yeah.
on. Just talk.
He's got it. Okay. So, yeah, we are just going to do a quick Finding Home Q&A update. We had a fun series. What did you guys think of that? Different than our travel vlogs, but for us, it was super fun for me to be back working with live footage, live video footage, not just like pictures and stories. For our world trip, we have 5 more countries of 5 more countries that we have to do for, hey Eileen, 5 more countries of lost footage that we will be sitting down and talking about. And we have Peter's pictures to go along with that. And those countries are 2 in Africa coming up, Northern Africa, Tunisia and Egypt. And then we have United Arab Emirates, India, and Thailand. So there's going to be some fun photos and videos coming up. So definitely make sure to subscribe to Happy Hoppy if you are not already. But for right now, we're just going to talk about the last series we just did. And I'm fighting a cold, so sorry if I sound terrible. I have like a box of tissues ready. Is anyone else fighting a cold? Like, it's crazy. All right.
We got several friends here that are.
Yeah,
in Colorado
seriously.
Springs, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the video, I just want to talk briefly about the little intro where, I made that little comment about, this is like where I grew up. I'm not going back. With that, obviously, I want to clarify, I am very thankful for the time that I had in Minnesota out in the sticks and loved the time there.
Yeah.
But it's just where we're at now, just wanting to be in a bigger city around a lot of different amenities and different things. And so that's all. We were in the middle. That moment, we'd actually debated and talked about for a little while whether or not to include that in the little intro. And Lisa was like, oh, this is good drama. We got to do this. This is like, something kind of fun to grab people's attention. So we decided to go ahead and keep it in just because it's kind of fun. But yeah, at that moment, we had been driving out in the country for a while. And, it was just getting further and further away from everything. And so that's where, if you saw the episode, then you saw the context of it. And it was just me being, hey, I want to be close to stuff now. That's all. I love the time, that I had in Minnesota growing up out in the country. It was wonderful. And it's just a new chapter of life now. So.
Yep. And also, okay, so when we checked out Florida, we had a lot of people that were like, what? Why did you go to Florida? And so I felt like I would just clarify on here a little bit. So when we had traveled, we went to the Philippines and also like Indonesia and Bali, and I just like grew to love the warm weather all the time. The humidity didn't bother me, and I was like, I kind of want to get to that again, not for like long term, but like we're kind of thinking that maybe we will move and maybe possibly come back to Colorado. And so with that, then I was like, well, I could do Florida for like 5 years type of thing. And also they don't have any income tax. But it was funny though, because definitely Peter was freaked out, and then he got me freaked out of like alligators and snakes and stuff. And
I don't know if I'd say freaked out. I was just like, like I said in the episode, I was used to in Minnesota being able to hop in any old water, go for a hike anywhere and not have to worry about, snakes or gators and things like that.
Right.
It's just something you have to be aware of. That's all. It's not, like I said, you can get used to it and it would be okay, but it would just be different.
And it was funny because I was talking to my friend here today in Colorado, and she was like, the way that Peter was with alligators in Florida, she's like, that's how I am every time I go hiking here in Colorado. I'm afraid that a mountain lion is going to come out and get me. And I was like, oh, like I don't have that fear here. So it just kind of depends, I guess, on like what fears, you have and things like that. So yeah, we don't really think twice about mountain lions here. So I guess people in Florida, they're just used to it, and they're just used to the cautionary things that do. So.
Especially if you're in a city, you're not going to worry about it too much either.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's true. It depends on where you are. And at the end of Florida, Peter was like, all right, I guess it's going to be Indiana. Oh my goodness, Andy. Hey, wow, it's 2 a.m. your time. Thanks for being up.
Nice.
He's from the UK. Anyways, so yeah, at the end of the Florida episode, I was like, well, it's probably going to be Indiana. But like, the reason I was still hesitant is because, I mean, it is a big change to leave, what we know here in Colorado, who we know, leave the people I nanny for. That was a hard decision to make. But we are really excited for this. And I don't know if we probably didn't communicate that because this was in February when we went and visited. And so, you can go to the alligator farm from the west side of Colorado before you leave. Okay, Estelle, thanks. So we can still see alligators if we want. And so, we definitely are excited. And so we didn't communicate that because in February, we were there, and now we've had so much time to think about it and process through it. And, as hard as it is to leave Colorado, like we are super excited for this and excited for this next adventure, this new adventure. And actually in January, when we were starting to kind of consider moving, we were on our way to church and we were talking about it in the car, and like I was like, yes, Peter, I know, like logically to save this much money, like it makes sense, but like it's hard to leave friends, and he's like, I know, but like we were just talking through it, and I just didn't have like an overwhelming peace at that moment. But later on, we had a friend come up to us. This is in January, when we had only at that point told his parents, my parents, and his brother that's here in town that doesn't know this person at church. So she had no way to know that we were even considering moving. And she comes up to us and she said, I just wanted to let you know that I have been praying for you guys, and in my prayer time, a word came up for you guys, and I just think that God wants me to share this with you. And the phrase was new direction. And immediately when she said that, I started crying and had such a peace that, I'm not sure why, but we are moving to Indiana. And now, I know why, but like, logically, sometimes doesn't always logically make sense, but like it is hard to take that step. And when she did tell me that, it was just like, I had a really awesome peace, and Indiana came to my mind when she said that too. We had already booked the tickets to Florida, and so we were pretty sold on Indiana even before we went out there, and not Florida. Well, we'd already booked the tickets, and it was February, and I was wanting to get warm, so I was like, all right, well, we'll still go to Florida and, do our due diligence and check it out, because there were awesome houses there. But, yep, Indiana, I think it is, so, yep.
So one of the biggest questions that people are asking us all the time is, do you have a house lined up already or yet? And we don't have a specific house lined up yet because, that first trip was to go get a general quick overview of Indiana and figure out the pockets where we might want to focus our searches a little bit more, and be able to, go spend a little more time meeting people in the neighborhoods we're looking at and be able to visit churches. So that's the next step, is we're going to be going, and it'll probably be, so we'll leave here in Colorado around May 18th, May 19th, head up to my family's in Minnesota, and then after my brother gets married, June 7th, then we'll head on down to Indiana. And there's a couple spots that we're looking at, and actually the areas we're looking kind of changed slightly since we were exploring. So in the videos, we really liked Columbus and Marion, which we still do.
Yes.
But recently I started climbing with a friend.
There's a new criteria that the place has to meet now, just as if, all the other criteria wasn't enough.
So thanks, Jason, for taking me climbing.
Yeah.
But so we're doing rock climbing. And so I was like, you know what? This would be really fun to be able to do rock climbing somewhere in Indiana. It's something you can do indoors in the wintertime or in the summer if it's hot and humid. Anyway, it's a great, fun way to get some exercise. Yep. So I looked up climbing gyms in Indiana, and Columbus didn't really have one. It has a little one that you can do some bouldering, but no rope climbing. So Bloomington,
And Marion did not have any.
yeah, Marion doesn't either. Bloomington does have one. That's pretty good. But Indianapolis has one that's even better on the north part of Indianapolis. Hoosier Heights has one that has rope climbing, bouldering, and they have an American Ninja Warrior training, like a whole facility, like a whole course that you can go through.
So what you're saying is, watch out in like 3 seasons, you're gonna be on the
We'll
American
see.
Ninja
We'll
Warrior.
see. But it's just a great way, to have fun and get out there and make sure you're staying fit and being active. Especially with my job where I'm sitting at a computer all day, I need something that's fun and gonna get me out of my seat and go do something.
So now we are still thinking Columbus, but probably that one's out. Marion, you can still get like the most house for your money there. Actually, Peter had taken a couple of screenshots of some places. Oh, here's you rock climbing.
Well, first this is Lisa. Let's see if this shows up. So there's Lisa.
What a beast.
Tackling a little climbing wall there.
Oh, I didn't make it over the edge though.
Here's me. Let's see if this will kind of show.
Yeah,
up.
it's kind of showing. Yeah.
Kind of shows.
Yep.
All right, and then let's see here. Let's head back up to this part. Hang on.
We have our notes on his computer, and so I need to log in.
Okay. So Hoosier Heights, this will give you an idea. Oh, man, that's like... Maybe I should turn...
What if you turn this off, like down? Are there any universities with rock climbing? I don't know.
So, oh man, this has really got quite the glare on it. But Hoosier Heights is in the north part of Indianapolis. That really doesn't work.
It doesn't work very well. Don't even try.
Anyway, but there are some really, really nice houses that are like within 12 minutes of there.
And you're spending like a little bit more than possibly like if you were in Marion, but you also are getting like more house too, and like you're only like 20 minutes away from the airport. So this was a house that's $195. So like I said, a little bit more than we had been considering, but that's what, 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,300 square feet. Next house, 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,100 square feet.
Almost 22.
For $165. So that one was really nice.
And those are all in between the climbing gym and this huge city park that we found. So Eagle Creek Park, you can look that up online too. Beautiful, massive park.
It's like 5 times the size of Central Park or something.
So there's 1,400 acres of water and 3,900 acres of forest. Tons of hiking, biking, all kinds of good trails.
And this is all in the north western part of Indianapolis. So that's kind of what we're considering, which is close to like Brownsburg and Avon, Zionsville, and then obviously like Indianapolis itself. And so that's kind of maybe what we're considering, just because then Peter gets to still rock climb. So we're just really considering all options. So yeah, the plan is then once... Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, so to put in perspective, Central Park in New York City is 843 acres.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah, it's a little over 4 times. Eagle Creek Park in Indianapolis is a little over 4 times the size of Central Park in New York City.
Yeah.
So it's massive, and it would be, if we were close to that park and the climbing gym, like within 12 minutes of each, roughly, that would be amazing.
Yeah. And that the house that was $165 is 12 minutes to each, in between each.
Here's another one that's close to the park.
It's for $187. So anyways, we've been like, these houses are probably not like going to be, still for sale once we get there in like late June or early June, but they might be. So we're just looking, kind of getting an idea of like where the pockets are, like looking at like the safety and all of that. But yeah, what we're going to do then is when we get down after hang out in Minnesota for a little while and his brother gets married, then in early June head down to Indiana and rent an Airbnb in like the kind of like the 2 or 3 locations that we're kind of thinking, just to get an idea for the neighborhood, be able to talk with the family that's there, do a couple nights in each, visit some churches, and then kind of make our decision. And then once we find the right house, put in an offer. We'll probably rent an apartment for a month or 2, like a short-term lease, month-by-month basis, as we, wait for the house to close and all of that. But yeah, we're excited. That's the next step. That's kind of kind of wrapped up the Finding Home series for now. I will be getting back to Africa vlogs pretty shortly here. Like I said, I'm kind of fighting a cold, so I didn't get as much work as I wanted to get done on it like yesterday and like on Saturday. And my mom is also visiting, which is super fun. So I think maybe I'll be able to get one out Friday, but we'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. So
Cool.
any questions? Oh, my dad said it's so much closer to PA. That's the other thing. We did not say this. So Indiana is pretty much exactly halfway between my family in Pennsylvania and Peter's family in Minnesota. So we'll be a 10-hour or like 11-hour drive, depending on which city we end up in, to each. And so that's so doable and so much better than it is right now, because right now to drive to his family, which we do, it's like 22 hours. With
yeah,
weather.
Depending on weather. I mean, it's supposed to be 19, but it usually ends up being more because we're usually driving in the wintertime. So, with road conditions or wind, snow, storm, something like that happening,
Yeah.
usually it ends up being a little more. One time we got a flat tire.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and then to my family, it's like over 27-hour drive. So we
just fly.
We just fly. I mean, his family doesn't live close to the airport. That's why we do mostly drive to his, because they live 4 hours from the airport. So it's like, oh goodness, they'd be driving for forever to get to the airport. So
it'll be nice. And then we're also going to be halfway between my parents and my older brother. It's in Maryland. And so, my parents go out to Maryland to visit them. They'll be able to stop by and see us.
Yep.
In between coming and going. And same thing with my brother goes to see my parents. So it's a great location for that. So we're excited.
Yeah.
It'll be a great place to raise a family, get a family started. So
yeah, so we're super excited, and also it's gonna be nice to be that like central place. So we'll have people passing through. They might not be coming, to see the things in Indiana. They might be, because Eagle Creek Park sounds awesome. But we're gonna be like seeing so many more family. I'm so tired. Oh my goodness.
Trying to talk too fast here.
Yeah, y'all, I've been like sleeping like crazy with this cold. I slept an hour and a half today, a nap, and I'm still ready to go back to sleep. Anyways, so yeah, we're excited. So
we definitely appreciate your prayers for guidance to the exact home and the church that we get plugged into in Indiana, and which town it's going to be. So we don't know the specifics yet, but we'll definitely be posting updates as we find out.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, and if you have any other questions, just shoot them below and we'll answer them.
Should I check really quick?
I've been able to watch the comments, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Hi Lynn, I saw your comment, hi, so I didn't say hi to you, and I think we did everything else. Why is it? Oh, there's like 500 things on there.
No, it's just 3.
No flights or trains. I'm not sure what you mean, Andy. So to go to his family, like his family is like 4 hours away from an airport. So, I mean, they have a small airport, but it'd be pretty expensive to fly into. And then my family is, they live close to like Philadelphia or Newark, or they live close to a lot. So we usually fly to them. And trains, no, unfortunately, there's no good train system in the U.S.
I mean, you can ride one, but it's more for fun if you're willing to take the time for the experience. It's not going to be super fast.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, that's true. I did have a friend that took a train to Disney, but it was more like, it wasn't any cheaper. It was just more like, hey, let's just do this because it's kind of a fun thing to do. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, and did you really check out all the other states, at least on paper? Sort of. I mean, there was a few states that we ruled out just because, it either didn't have a major airport hub or, for affordable flights to be able to get in and out of easily, or it was like too hot and humid. Like for me, I really, really did want something that would have the 4 seasons still. I wanted to have the snow, and a lot of places don't. So, yeah, but we did check a lot out, even just briefly. I mean, we did.
Yeah.
I mean, did a lot of research on there first, and then we looked at like tax rates everywhere.
Yeah, so I pulled up like property tax rates for different states. I pulled up the income tax, and then I just like Googled like, most affordable places to live and like best places to live, and kind of then I like compiled the list and like saw like which ones overlapped, and I was like, all right, these 10 overlap out of all these lists, so let's check those out. And so then I guess like looking at like houses and stuff, it was probably only about like 10 or so where I was actually looking at the houses, but that was after I'd already done research on like all of them.
Right.
So.
And we have actually done 2 big road trips around the U.S. So we visited all the states at some point.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up out in Colorado at first, is we did a 10,000-mile road trip to like 27 states.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks. So that was, one way of exploring a lot of the states, and then later we did a New England trip to visit those. So yeah, this was kind of phase 2 and searching again a little further.
And Andy just asked a 10-hour drive, because I know that does sound like a lot, especially when you're in the UK, because that would be like you at the bottom of England going all the way up to like Scotland, at the tipping top.
Maybe over to Ireland? No.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Probably not.
But no, here like that's like no big deal. Like, well, we would go for like a 4-day trip, like drive one day, spend 2 days there, and drive back another day. So
you did it. Nice. That's awesome.
Oh wait, you did what? What did you do once? Like, did you drive all the way from Scotland, or from England all the way to Scotland? You over across the tracks. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. But yeah, so any other questions, we would be happy to answer them, and we're excited for this next adventure. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you liked the Finding Home series. A little different, little break from the travel vlogs, but yeah.
See you back in the travel videos soon.
Yep. All right. See you guys. Bye. All right, now let's figure out how to turn this thing off. Seriously? I could just exit.
Let's try it.